Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. A little bit early today, but we got some running around to do. Doesn't mean we don't get the show done. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. A lot to get into on today's episode. A lot to get into because Chicago Bears are in a really tough position right now. There's nobody left. You look at the injury report, we have no tackles. There's no one out there to protect Caleb Williams right now. It is a very scary situation for the young quarterback heading into this week versus the Patriots in Soldier Field. Everybody keeps saying, oh, we're excited to get back. We're excited to get back. We're excited to get back. I am excited to hopefully see my quarterback make it through this game. That's all I have hope for at this point. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all want to know what to do? Make sure y'all go ahead and
come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Push the god-dang button, man. Stop playing around with us. Listen. Tough situation that we're heading into on Sunday. I mean, the injury report is out. It's bad. It's bad, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Karan Amagaji, DNP, yet again, he's out. Jaquan Brisker, concussion, he's out. Braxton Jones, knee, he's out. Darnell Wright, knee, he's out. Darrell Taylor is questionable now. He was a DNP today. He's been limited all week with the knee issue. You already had some struggles rushing the passer on the other side. Noah Sewell is limited. He's questionable. Ryan Bates is back. I guess in theory that's some good news for the Chicago Bears, and it sounds like he will be worked into the rotation here. And then still no distinction on Kyler Gordon, Tevin Jenkins, Terrell Smith, and Montez Sweat just yet. I would assume, seeing as how those guys were full, Tevin Jenkins, at least in Montez Sweat, were full the last couple of days, you would expect them to go. Kyler Gordon is still an interesting one to see. But this is, man, listen, it doesn't get any worse than this. You're literally going into a game where you have no starting offensive tackles on the field. You have nobody out there who seemingly can go out there and protect Caleb, that you feel confident can protect Caleb. Now you have to go out there and figure out how in the heck are you going to be able to get a win? Because at the end of the day, I know it's a struggling Patriots team, but it is still a professional football team. They are going to be rushing you off of the edge. How are you going to move this offensive line around so that you come out of this with a W? That's a scary situation for your young quarterback to be in. Unfortunately, it is the situation that you're in. And so we got to talk about how we think this is going to work out, especially with you getting Ryan Bates back. You feel good about the fact that you got Ryan Bates back. And of course, the question was asked to Ryan Poles today, do you feel like you're going to be able to work guys in without moving a bunch of guys around? I'll tell you this, it's a no. The only tackle you still have healthy basically on this roster right now is Larry Borum. Larry Borum right now is kind of your swing tackle. He could play left. He could play right side. Everybody, of course, is cross-trained. We know that that's what they do up there. But when you're talking about a legit impact player, you don't have that guy on the field right now. And that, to me, is going to be interesting to see how Caleb deals with that pressure in his face. You probably end up moving Matt Pryor out of that right guard spot, I would assume, over to the right tackle position. Now, Matt Pryor has played some tackle in his career. He played tackle a little bit in Indianapolis, but it was not good. Let's just say that. I believe it was 5 pressures allowed, 4 sacks allowed on the day. That's the last time that he actually got out there and played tackle. As far as in his career, I got to go. I'm trying to see if I can get his whole career numbers here on PFF, and not just this season. He struggled mightily that final season, and he did have a solid season the year before. We spent a good chunk of it playing right guard. Let's look at the 2021 season. I think that's the one that's probably the most telling. It's the last season that he was pretty good there. Did get some work in at right tackle, 266 snaps at that right tackle position. Actually had a pretty good season, had an overall grade of 76.5, pass blocking grade of 75.2, run blocking grade of 74.8. So doing some good things over there as well. Hopefully that's something that's able to carry over for the Chicago Bears as they continue to head through this week. Working back in Ryan Bates, that's going to be big for you. You don't have an option now. I guess that's the one thing that's good in this situation is there's a guarantee that Ryan Bates is going to get out there. You have zero option to not go out there and have Ryan Bates out there in this starting lineup. Coleman Shelton probably ends up being starting center, and you probably keep right at left guard Tevin Jenkins. I don't think that you end up moving Tevin Jenkins around. I saw some people in the chat talking about that. I also saw some people on Twitter and different things talking about that as well. Do you move Tevin back to the position that he came out of college with? If you remember him coming out of college, he was a tackle. I would assume he probably is designated as one of your backup tackles, which could be, I mean, even then you're not feeling great about that. Let's not pretend like Tevin Jenkins was a dominant tackle for this team, but he does understand how to play the position. It's what he played mostly when he was in college. I think that there's some things that you can get done with Tevin Jenkins as your backup. But here's what it comes down to. Bottom line, you can't protect Caleb Williams, and that's scary. You just can't. You can't protect Caleb Williams, and that's scary. And again, how many times are we going to have this conversation? I had this conversation with David Kaplan today. This is kind of the situation that your team has put itself in. Now, I'm not speaking about the injury aspect of it. Injuries are going to happen. There's not much you can do about that, right? You kind of just have to fight through the injury and deal with them as they come. But you're in a spot right now that you do wonder with some of the other pieces around the league that you could have had on your team who have been a little bit more healthy. Are you in a different position now if you go out and you add those pieces to the team in the offseason, if you go out and add those pieces to the team in the not only just in the draft, but also preseason and in your offseason program there? And I mean, you got to ask the question now, right? Like, are you at a point where Nate Davis is a major part of your future moving forward? I know that JC is all out on Nate Davis doing anything with the Chicago Bears, but you're running out of options here. You've got this guy on the roster. Realistically speaking, Nate Davis is a better right tackle than what Ryan Bates is. I understand that you may be out on him, but do you have to throw him back out there? Because you're at a point now where it's all about the development of Caleb. And if you're not all in on the development of Caleb Williams, then throw out whatever hodgepodge you want to throw out there. It's all hodgepodge anyway at this point. But if you're still in on the development of Caleb Williams, you have to throw the best talent available that you can find out there. And I just don't know if you're going to be able to do that with throwing in a guy like Ryan Bates, who is fresh off of IR, hasn't had snaps with this team since week 2. Yeah, I mean, like it sucks. It sucks. It sucks that you're doing this to this young man again. It sucks that you're having another quarterback have to go in there and fight for his life. It sucks, man. I hate to see this. Hit that like button if you have not done so. Subscribe to the page, man. 67 in the building. Let's get it up over 100 in the chat. Let's get it up over 100 likes in the chat. I appreciate you guys for supporting over on YouTube as well. Here's the bottom line. You don't have a quarterback that can do anything to protect himself outside of throwing short passes. You have an offensive coordinator who wants to throw deep routes all the time and who wants to set up these deep routes and not take the underneath shots. You have an offensive line that is in shambles, and you have a run game that hasn't figured it out in a couple of weeks. Other than that, you're doing great. Good job, Bears. You did it again. Right? Anybody happy now? No. Because that's the conversation people didn't want to have this offseason. That's the conversation people didn't want to talk about this offseason. Everybody was like, oh, no, yeah, I remember. Oh, no, Caleb getting the ball out quicker will just make guys magically talented. How's that working? How's that working? This is the exact situation you didn't want to put your quarterback in. Because here's the rough part about all of this. Even if every one of them are healthy, they still suck. Good job. Good job. It's a shame. It's a shame, dog. It's a shame that we keep living in this cycle. It's a shame that we keep having to go back to this cycle every single year. I could have told you a mile away that if this guy wasn't Jesus Christ out there with a football, he probably wasn't going to be able to survive behind this offensive line. Shout out to the chat, man. Let me know your thoughts on this as well. This is going to be one of those Patting the People streams where I kind of go through some of the comments and talk back and forth with you guys, because otherwise it's just going to be me ranting about the same stuff every time, and I'm I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Flacco Cut said, "Is there any chance we can still sniff the playoffs, Pat?" Not right now, bro. Not with this offensive line. Not with this offensive line. You can't. You can't. There is no team. I don't know if you thought that Caleb Williams was going to come out and have this same effect like Joe Burrow, who's died multiple times on the field. I don't know if that's what people thought. I don't know if you thought that this young man was going to be able to come out here and just be able to do exactly what he did at USC versus NFL talent. Are you kidding me? But if you're talking about playoffs, hold on. Do I got that on there? I got the, I think I do.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
I hope we can win a game. Bellissimo said Ryan Bates week 2 wasn't great. He wasn't. But that's what you got. That's what you traded your 4th round pick for. And I didn't expect Ryan Bates to be great. You want to know why? Because in Buffalo, he was a backup right tackle. There's a reason. You thought you were going to go find this magical piece that was going to come in and fix everything. Oh, we're going to find the bargain bin option. You want bargain bin options, you get bargain bin answers. My mom was a big thrift store shopper, right? She was a big thrift store shopper. And you can find some really good stuff at the thrift store. I'm not stunting on the thrift store at all. You can find some really good stuff at the thrift store. But every now and then you come home and you get a dud. Every now and then you come home and you go, oh, this thing that I thought was pretty cool doesn't actually work. Every now and then you come home and you go, oh, look at that. Well, it only costs $2, so it's not that big of a deal. That's what you did with your offensive line. That's what you did with your offensive line. That's what you set your new quarterback up with. You went bargain bin shopping. You said, what can I find at the bottom of the barrel? By the way, there were bargain bin options that were good out there. Connor Williams looks good. There were bargain bin options that look good. Go 6 Trey said this cycle was guaranteed when you passed on a generational draft haul to draft a QB you didn't need. Listen, Caleb's better than Justin. I was a Justin Fields guy. Caleb's better than Justin. But the conversation that people have on the or that you did this over that, that's not a real conversation. The conversation that people are trying to have that you did this and this instead of taking this. No, you still could have had this. I didn't need the generational draft haul. I wanted the haul because I wanted to build the offensive line. But you know what Ryan Poles set himself still up to do? He set himself up to build the offensive line. He just didn't. This is not a this is not a or conversation. This is a and conversation. You could have had this and that, not this or that. That's the problem. I don't care about what's going on with Justin's not even playing. And if you want to believe that they're not playing Justin Fields just because of the draft pick, even though Russell Wilson is scoring 10 more points on offense than Justin Fields ever had a chance to on that team, like, okay, go ahead and believe it. It's fine. But the conversation is not that you didn't need the quarterback. Yeah, you upgraded the quarterback position. You didn't upgrade the guys that were standing in front of him. You could have drafted a second round pick offensive lineman if you trade picks to get there. You could have signed multiple offensive linemen in the offseason that maybe are an asset. To the backup guys that you sign that maybe make them better. But instead, you ignored the position entirely. And that's just listen, that's a personal Ryan Poles thing. I don't know why. I don't know why he goes out there and I don't know. I don't have an answer for it, dog. I don't have an answer for you on why he ignored the offensive line. But even the success Justin Fields had in Pittsburgh came behind a good offensive line. It's why Russell Wilson has been able to go out there and absolutely ball out of his mind like we haven't seen in 3 years. You call this an upgrade? I call it an upgrade at the quarterback position. Yeah. I see a quarterback that understands how to read a defense. I see a quarterback that can make audibles at the line. I see a quarterback that goes through his progression. I see a quarterback that, when protected, is able to hit his receivers with anticipatory throws. I still don't see that with Justin. And I like Justin. I think it's just not his game. You still didn't see that with Justin in Pittsburgh. I watched all the games too, just like you did. I want to see the kid do well. But there's a reason that they went to a quarterback that they felt was better, that could get the offense moving through the air. Jonathan Knapp said, what if they didn't address the O-line issue? If they don't address the O-line issue at the end of this season, like we have seen countless times before, if you don't address the O-line issue going into next season, get ready to prepare for Caleb Williams to leave Chicago. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. If you don't address the O-line issues by the end of this season, get ready for Caleb Williams. He's not going to be alive. He's not going to be alive. He's just not. Creative Power says, I agree. Poles got to go. He sucks at picking and organizing whatever he is doing. Fire the front office, the guy who keeps picking duds of professional coaches. I'm not on the Ryan Poles has to be fired yet train. I'm on the Ryan Poles is behind the 8-ball. I think he's just behind. I'm not ready to see Ryan Poles fired. I think there's a lot of good pieces here. I'm not ready to see Ryan Poles fired. I think there are pieces that you absolutely can win with. DJ Moore's talented. That's the thing. There is talent on this roster. DJ Moore is talented. Keenan Allen's talented. Roma Dunze, you just drafted him. He's talented. Cole Kmet is talented. DeAndre Swift is talented. Caleb Williams is talented. You still don't have enough to get these to protect this young man for him to be able to move the football. I don't know. Matt Nagy equals Matt Eberflus. Ryan Pace equals Ryan Poles. We as fans got fleeced. I don't think Ryan Pace equals Ryan Poles. I think that Ryan Pace went all in and had you in a situation where your back was against the wall and you had no options. You still got a ton of options. The question is, are you going to take advantage of those options in this coming offseason? Because you didn't take advantage of a single one this offseason. Are you going to take advantage of anything this offseason, this coming offseason? Because you didn't take advantage of this offseason. Let's go 6 straight. There's no way you sitting here talking about Caleb holds the ball too long and trying to defend Justin Fields, bro. I'm sorry. I understand you're probably a diehard Fields fan. Okay, that's cool. There's no way you sitting here trying to defend Justin Fields and talking about Caleb holds the ball too long. Say Shy City said Ryan Pace was better. The Bears made the playoffs. Until Poles does that, we can talk. Then we can talk. Yeah, he made the playoffs one year. You double doinked your way out of it, and your team was never able to rebuild because you were in such a terrible situation. Yes, he did make the playoffs. He did. He's got a 12-4 season. He's got a GM of the Year award that I'm sure is probably collecting dust. But you saw that he wasn't able to continue to build on that. You saw that he wasn't able to continue to grow with that. E-Dub said, I agree with you, Windy City. If you can get an offensive line, he's an elite quarterback. Caleb, not Fields, get that straight. I think here's the thing. They're both good quarterbacks. They just do things differently. They're both good quarterbacks. They just do things differently. There's a place in this league for Justin Fields. The problem is that you've done the same thing with 2 quarterbacks in a row. The problem is you've done the same thing 2 quarterbacks in a row. It shouldn't have been that Justin Fields had to hold the ball too long and then he would take off. It should have been Justin Fields had time to hold on to the ball, assess what he was seeing, and then make a pass. Then if he wanted to take off, he could take off. Instead, it was he had to run for his life no matter what. It shouldn't be Caleb Williams is holding the football too long because he's trying to make a play, passing the football down the field. It should be Caleb Williams has time to assess, makes a play. Maybe he held the football too long, but we saw him throw touchdowns when he was holding the football too long. In those 3 games, there were times where he held the football too long, still got the pass out, still was able to score on him because he was being protected. It comes down to the same stuff. Football's not a difficult game. There are things that are very cerebral about football, but at the basis of it, big guys up front keep quarterback from getting hit. He plays better. Look around the NFL. Sam Darnold was about to be done. Sam Darnold was a joke. Sam Darnold was a meme talking about, I'm seeing fucking ghosts out here, man. Y'all remember that? Sam Darnold's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Sam Darnold's on one of the best football teams in the league. Sam Darnold's leading one of the best offenses in the NFL. You can't tell me that the big dudes up front don't matter because I watch Sam Darnold consistently on back-to-back drives throw it into 4 people because this young man was rattled. But now this season, all of a sudden, he's Jesus Christ with a football. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Do you think Paul should use every pick next year, every draft pick next year for O-linemen? I think your first and your 2 seconds should absolutely be addressed to this offensive line. You were willing to take 2 defensive players with your second and third, your first season here. I think absolutely your first 2 seconds need to be addressed. And I think you need to get somebody in here that knows how to evaluate them. Because I'll tell you this right now. I hope that I am wrong. I hope that Karan Amagaji pans out. I'm not worried about like the game, being a little fast for him. He's a rookie. Of course it does. But Karan Amagaji is built like Braxton Jones. What's that mean about him going backwards? Crimson in the building. What's good, my guy? Bears Junkie said we've done the same thing since Jay Cutler. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're talking about a guy. You've had 3 quarterbacks. 3 quarterbacks who have led the league in sacks multiple times. I don't know if Mitch Trubisky ever led the league, but he was definitely top 5 as well. You've had 3 quarterbacks in 10 years. That's nuts, dog. That's a bad situation to be in. Shout out to Bearlissimo with the super chat. He said Ryan Poles has brought blind pack Marvel heroes, not the Avengers who cost more. Yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong, dog. And now you're in a bit. Now you're in this situation again. Now you're in this situation again with a brand new quarterback who I think can go out there and make plays, who I think can go out there and dominate, who I think is the quarterback you've been waiting for. And you're going to treat him like David Carr? That's why I said at the trade deadline, you may have to go out there and pay more. You may have to go out there and pay more. You may have to go out there and spend some draft capital to go out and get pieces to protect this kid. He's on pace for 62 sacks. 62 sacks. Are you kidding me? It's just a joke, bro. It's just a joke. Don Chiozzi said Flus is not a good leader of men, and that speaks more than his ability to be a good defensive head coach. Could be. Could be. I don't know. I'm not going to say whether Flus is or isn't. Nobody in that locker room seems to say that he does not lead them well. Nobody in that locker room doesn't seem to say that they're still all in. I like that, we can kind of credit that to Flus through the tough times last year, but now when he's going through it and we are ready to move on from him, now he's not a good leader of men. I think here's my thing though. Is he the best leader of men you could get? No. There were better, and you didn't call the better. There were better. Jim Harbaugh's a better leader of men, guaranteed. Bill Belichick's a greater leader of men, guaranteed. Mike Vrabel's a better leader of men, guaranteed. There were better options. You didn't take them. You didn't go after them. Joseph Archer said, every time I look up now, people was blaming the QBs, not the real problem. Poles had plenty of time to fix this offensive line, but never did anything. That's not that he never did anything. He's drafted 3 offensive linemen. He signed a multitude of them. They're just bad. Listen, Darnell Wright last year 2 does not look good. Last year he balled out. Year 2 does not look good. And now he's on the injury list as well. I'm watching Darnell Wright get beat by 3-man rushes to the outside on a consistent basis versus the Arizona Cardinals. What the heck? Just like I said last year, I love the fact that this is flipped. I love the fact that this is flipped, by the way. I love the fact that people who were killing me for saying, hey, Justin Fields might need an offensive line and he probably can go out there and be a good quarterback, now are trying to kill Caleb for not having an offensive line and not being able to go out there and consistently be a good quarterback. I love that, like, the fan base has just been like, oh, God. Well, how about we just hate on you for everything? Nick Dub said, you just said Caleb can't get the ball out quick, so how can he dominate? I don't want to hear you talk about Caleb at all with your neck beard. First off, Nick Dub, how about you tell your mom get off 79th and stop taking all that meat to the mouth? Second off, I did say Caleb Williams gets the ball out quick. You clearly are deaf or don't listen or just dumb, one or the other. I said that he doesn't have an offensive line, that he can't be protected, that he struggles at sometimes assessing what he's seeing, but for the most part, he reads defenses pretty well. I've done nothing but praise Caleb Williams. So how about you get off my meat and go back in the basement that you live in? Thanks. Hit that like button. Don Quixote said Wright might have been playing hurt because there's no way he's gotten this bad all of a sudden. Well, I think it could be Darnell Wright might be playing hurt. I think it also could be you're on an offensive line that's struggling much more than it was struggling. Well, I don't know about much more. Probably struggling at the same level as it was struggling last season. I think that you're just dealing with. You're gonna have like sophomore slump stuff like that. I'm not out on Darnell Wright either. I do think though that he's gotten figured out and he's got to adjust back to what the NFL is able to do. I do believe that. I do think that he's gotten out of what the NFL's figured him out a little bit, and now he's got to bounce back on the other side. He hasn't adjusted yet. Now, could he not be adjusting as well because of the injury? For sure. That absolutely could be an issue. But the bottom line is you're out there, you got to make plays, you're getting the quarterback killed on a consistent basis. I wonder what they got for him on Fifth. By the way, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Darnell Wright. Let me check Fifth real quick and see Darnell Wright's. That's what I put in. What Fifth has for him. PFF actually has him not doing terribly this season. I don't know how. So here's the numbers, right? Overall grade 2024, 70 on the season, which is okay. Pass blocking grade 69.3, 69, nice. Run blocking grade 74. He has 5 penalties. He's allowed 5 sacks, which is tied for 5th most in the NFL. And he has total pressures allowed 18. Those numbers ain't adding up. This is why I say use your eyes, not just the numbers. He's playing great. All right, how many sacks he allowed? 5. That's a lot. Just for reference, in 2023, the entire season, as a rookie who played well but struggled at times and really cleaned it up in the second half of the season. Remember, he allowed a lot of sacks early on in the season. Second half of the season, got it together. Maybe he does that this season as well. But in the entire season, he allowed 7 sacks. He's allowed 5 already. That's tough. That's tough. Let's see what else we got up in here. Shout out to y'all commenting in, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with me on a Friday. We definitely vibing. Time person at Pat, don't let them take you out of being a true professional, my dog. Oh, bro, no. Hey, listen, Don, you already know. Every now and then we gotta remind Muzz. Hey, bro, listen. I'm from these joke streets too. You want to come with the jokes? I can get you back with the jokes. Shout out Don Burr, man. Shout out Don Burr, always coming through and rocking with us. Peter Lanowski? I think I'm going Lanowowski on that. Let me know if I said your name right. What are your thoughts on sitting Caleb and starting Bajan to let Caleb learn and wait for the Bears to hopefully improve the O-line in the offseason, like sitting behind a vet idea? I think here's the tough part about that. You're in a spot now where, by the way, I'm glad that we didn't trade Bajan. You're in a spot now though where he's the number 1 overall pick. You put him in a bad position. See what he can get out of this and hopefully make his life better. The concern is, and I understand your concern, Peter, are you going to be able to go out there and block for him? Are you going to be able to go out there and keep him from getting 61 sacks? I think there is a fix for this. It's just probably not the fix that the Bears want, the fix that Caleb want. You have to take the check down almost every single time. That's how you keep from getting hit. That's how you keep from getting sacked. I want to see that game plan against the Patriots. I want to see short passes to DJ Moore. I want to see short passes to DeAndre Swift. And I mean, realistically speaking, I understand why you're saying the learn from the vet idea. Basically, Bajan becomes a sacrificial lamb in your scenario here. I don't want Tyson Bagent going out there and getting killed either, because you might need Tyson Bagent if Caleb Williams ends up continuing to get hit the way that he is getting hit. And you don't want to stop the growth. You don't want to stop the development. No matter what we can say, struggles aside, last couple of weeks have been terrible. The end of that game versus the Commanders, Caleb Williams was money. He put you in a position to win. He threw the football well. How did he do that, though? He did it by taking those short passes, taking those quick checkdowns, and letting his playmakers make plays for him. I just watched Lamar Jackson do that last night. Who's the receiver he threw it to? Was it hold on. Was it Humphreys? Was his name? Was it? I'm blanking on the name that he had, but I mean, Lamar threw him basically a little out that was short, and he turned it into a massive gain. Why? Because he wanted it more. Let your playmakers be those guys. Marshall, shout out to Antoine too. Shout out to Antoine too. Yeah, Marshall. He caught that ball, was gone. That's kind of where you need to go with that. That's kind of the game plan you need to go. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to play up. They're going to sit there and start to get closer, because now you're dinking and dunking your way down the field. And now all of a sudden you can snap the football, even with the pressure coming. I know where this ball's going. I got one-on-one matchup outside with Rome Odunze or DJ Moore. I'm letting this go immediately. And that's how you get the deep shots to open up. Yo. Chicago Garza said that boy got cooked. Don't ever change what this show is about, Pat. And congrats on the ESPN gig too. Is definitely deserved, and keep on pushing. Listen, I'm having a conversation with Muggs. If Muggs want to come out and talk crazy, we can talk crazy. It's no disrespect. There's none of that. Unless you want to get disrespectful, I can get real disrespectful real quick. We still gonna keep it professional. We not gonna mess up the bag. We gonna keep the money coming. All of that, dog. But if you want to get jokey joke, guess what? Pat lives in the jokey joke world. That's why me and Hayes get along so well. Y'all should hear the stuff that we say to each other, literally goofing around. Let's see. V-Dog in the building, man, says, sup, bro? I don't have an issue with Kevin Warren and Poles bringing Matt Eberflus back another year. They thought with an upgraded roster, Flus would be better. Defense would take another step, but he got to go. Listen, Flus has been better. It's not good enough. Flus has been better. I had a list of things coming into the season. I had a list of things coming into the season that I said he needs to improve on these things, or he should be gone before the season starts. You should have got rid of him anyway. There are better out there. I said that already. There's better out there. There's better guys for you to go out there and add to this team as head coaches. Jim Harbaugh is better. Jim Harbaugh has no talent over there. But you know what he said? We're going to protect this quarterback and see what he can make. And he was able to do that. But Matt Eberflus has improved. It's just still not good enough. How he went about preparing his team this year for the season has been better. It's just still not good enough. I love this comment. Caleb Williams equals Bulls Jimmy Butler, overhype, and soon to get the front office fired. The front office was still there 8 years after Jimmy Butler left. Jimmy Butler was the exact same player that he is right now. He just was younger and still had ability. If the Bulls had actually believed in him and not cared so much about the fact that he wanted things to be his way and not the other way, they probably would have been in a better situation overall moving forward. And Jimmy Butler has been to 2 NBA finals that he basically dragged the team to. I would love for Caleb Williams to become Bulls Jimmy Butler. That would be a dream come true if Caleb Williams became Bulls Jimmy Butler. Flus just given reason to get fired this year. 53 yards before the half was the final nail in the coffin for me. I said this multiple times on the show. I believe there has never been a head coach in Chicago Bears history that has more of a resume to be fired in season. I believe that you have so much on Matt Eberflus to say, you know what, Flus, it's time for you to go. And Chicago Bears podcast coming out probably in about another hour. I asked David Kaplan about this, and he said, well, who are you going to go get who is also going to be able to coach this team the rest of the season? Are you going to bring in a Mike Vrabel? Are you going to bring in a Bill Belichick? My response was with a Mike Vrabel, I would love to have a Mike Vrabel here. Why? I know he's a leader of men. I know that he's a really good leader of men. His biggest problem in Tennessee was he didn't have the quarterback. You got the quarterback. Mike Vrabel also knows what offensive linemen look like. You know why? Because he was so incredibly ready for Nate Davis to leave the building. Mike Vrabel, for me, would be a dream come true because I already know that he can lead men. I know a lot of people are in on Ben Johnson. I know a lot of people are all in on, Bobby Slowick, but I don't know how those guys are going to be as head coaches. I saw Mike Vrabel as a head coach. What couldn't get him over the top, why he couldn't get over the top, was because the game plan was turn around and give the football. I swear I thought I seen something over here that was not supposed to be there. The game. That threw me off. I had to double take over there. It was my vacuum. I thought it was a whole shadow standing over there. Woo! The game plan for Mike Vrabel was turn around and give this football to Derrick Henry, which, by the way, with the Ravens, ain't a bad game plan. But you see how much it works when I'm worried about Derrick Henry, and then I turn around, I'm like, oh, snap. Lamar Jackson just threw the football 60 yards. That's a touchdown. Dang it. That to me is why this is this would be a better situation if you were going to go out and get Mike Vrabel. I would mess with Bill Belichick being a part of this team. And I know a lot of people are not fans of Belichick coming in because of the age and different things like that. You're hoping to get, 4 or 5 years out of him. He's 72. He's older. Is he going to coach till 77? I don't know. He doesn't seem like he's slowing down. 24-year-old girlfriend keeping him young, I guess. Shout out to him. But I would love to see a guy who looked at Tom Brady and said, this young man is talented, but when he is not protected, he is the worst quarterback in the league. We're going to protect him every single time. But Bill, what about getting a number 1 wide receiver? He can make Wes Welker one of the most talented wide receivers in the NFL if he's protected. My next coach needs to understand offensive line in my mind. At first I was like, nah, give me the offensive mind guy. Give me the Ben Johnson. That's who I'd rather see. The more I think on Mike Vrabel, first off, the fact that he was like, get Nate Davis, the you-know-what up out of here, tells me all I need to know on one front, that this guy's a good judge of character. The second thing for me, though, is the fact that you had a guy who literally went, I don't have a really great quarterback. Oh, this is a great compare. This is why Vrabel would cook. This is why Vrabel would cook. Who was Mike Vrabel quarterback? Who was Mike Vrabel's quarterback? Ryan Tannehill. Y'all remember what we all thought of Ryan Tannehill before he got to Tennessee? Y'all remember how we were like, Ryan Tannehill is a terrible quarterback and he is going to do horrible over there. Why in the heck would they sign Ryan Tannehill or trade for him? I don't remember if they signed him or traded for him. And then he got over there to Tennessee. And was he a world beater? Heck no. Could he get the job done? Absolutely. 2019, when he gets there, let me start here. 2018, when he left Miami, he was 30 years old, 17-9, really just kind of mass seasons. I think he had one playoff run in all of that. 2019, he gets to Tennessee, first season. They're 7-3. It's shortened season because of COVID and all of that. They're 7-3, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. 2020, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 3,800 yards. 2021, 3,700 yards, 21 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Interception numbers started to go the other way. But remember, they had moved on from Hollywood Brown at that point. They were trying to reset things over there and weren't able to reset it. But you turned Ryan Tannehill, who we literally were all like, this guy sucks, into a good quarterback because you said, let's get him an offensive line. We got to have one for Derrick Henry anyway. Let's figure that part out. Let's make sure that this guy, how many sacks did Ryan Tannehill take in his time? In the first season he was there, he took 31 sacks, which is 2 more than Caleb Williams is at right now through 9 seasons. In his second season there, he took 24 sacks. In his third season, he took 47. Remember, I said that's kind of where it fell off the wheels there. In his fourth season, 33, and his fifth season, 32. But those first two, 31 and 24, still a good number of sacks, but better protection turns you into a better quarterback. Here's his sack numbers in Miami: 35, 58, 46, 45, 29, 35. If you protect the quarterback, good things can happen. We sat there for 2 years going, what the heck is going on with Ryan Tannehill? How did he become a good quarterback? And then listen, age also plays a part into it. As it starts to fall off for him, he has a 47 sack season. He's 33 years old. He's 34. He had 12 games. He starts getting banged up. He's 35. He had 10 games. He's banged up. He's older. When you protect the quarterback, quarterbacks tend to be better. That's the bottom line, because Pat the designer said so. And that's the drum I'm going to be beating the rest of this season. As long as this young man is running for his life, that's the drum I'm going to be beating this offseason. As long as this young man is running for his life, the sacks don't stop when the season ends. He's going to be running for his life in the offseason, just in his dreams, just like, oh, they're coming for me. Oh, God, I got to get out of here. We're going to get this young man PTSD. See what else we got up in here, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Don Quixote said, Flus is at 28 losses in 2.5 seasons. Why is it a discussion about him still being here? That first year definitely counts for him. See, I disagree with that part. I don't think that the first year counts for anyone, because your plan, if we want to be honest with you, first year is successful. Your first year is successful. Your first year you had a plan. That was your plan to lose. It's successful. You got the first overall pick. I don't even count the first year as a bad season. You did what you needed to do to make sure that this team was in a better position moving forward. Matt Eberflus can't. At the end of the day, if you don't have the talent, it don't matter. Second season, that's where we start to talk. Why? Second season, you should have had 10 wins. And your quarterback didn't cost you 3 of them. Your coaching decisions cost you 3 wins. You should have had 10 wins. You should have been a playoff team your second season. Justin Fields did not cost you that season. Are there games that he played poorly in? Yes. That could have gotten you there as well? Yes. But he got you 7 wins. Technically, he put you in position for 10, and you found a way to outcoach yourself and lose 3 of them. This season, we're only halfway through it. You found a way to lose 2 of them. That's where it starts for me. You're losing games. Be honest with me. All the bad coaches that you've seen. Have you ever seen a head coach lose games this much? And I'm not saying the team loses the game, right? Fumble costs you the game. Some kind of mistake on the field costs you the game. Literally, your coach making the wrong call at the worst moment that he can make that call, costing you the game. Have you ever seen somebody do it this consistently? This is why I say there's never been another head coach who has had a resume that deserves to be fired in season more. On top of that, he's 0-18 on Sundays on the road. Football is played on Sunday. Take away all the road games from the rookie season or from the first season if you want to. What is that? That's how many games is that? Why am I blanking right now? 17 guys, 9. I don't know if it was 9 or 8 that year. I don't know if it was 9 or 8 that year. Or wait, what kind of math was that? I said 17. I don't know if it was 8 or 7 that year, I should say. But take away 7 or 8 of those losses. You still haven't won on the road in either of the next 2 seasons on a Sunday. Football's played on Sunday. Playoff games happen, if you ever find your way into one, on Sunday. You can't win games on Sunday. You can't be an NFL head coach. That's a problem. That's nuts. Dallas's coach last season, not when they were guaranteed to win the game, no, Nova. 4 of those 5 games, the Bears were guaranteed to win the game. It was a 92+% chance you were going to win the game. I never saw, and maybe I'm wrong. Somebody pointed out to me, I never saw the game where Dallas did that. Hey, Chi-Town Menace, you already know, but they have each other, brother. They have each other. Hey, man, told him to score, and I told him we got each other, baby. When Joe get back, he got to clip that up for the soundboard, bro. That will never leave. That will never leave. I'd argue you can throw Tressman in there too, Pat. Out of everybody we had since Lovey, those 2 are the worst. Yeah, but Tressman was 8-8. The offense was on fire. Your defense had just gotten so old. You could always look at that defense and go, they can't do it no more. You could always look at that defense and say that in the Tressman years. So I can't even blame Tressman. Now, year two, Tressman was terrible. Offense was terrible. Had to give up the play calling, all that. It was horrible. But, bro, like, it wasn't this bad. Like, every game when we're in a spot to win, I am nervous that our head coach is going to blow the game. By the way, there were multiple games last season, and I know y'all remember this, where we win the game, but he almost blew it again. There were multiple games last season where we're sitting there and we're like, all right, cool, we got this one in the bet. What is happening? Hey, yo. Whoa. Hey, calm down. What's going on? Why are y'all all of a sudden? Why is this a close game? Molly Mall said, as a Dallas fan, we did it a lot on the road. Maybe I'm wrong. 92% chance, though? That's nuts. Nova said there's no sugarcoat no 0-18. Bro, yeah, that's insane. The 0-18 one is insane, bro. Man, losers on the road. Say Shy City said Flus will blow another game this year, can almost guarantee it. Bro, and that's the problem. And that's why you have to make the change. If not this season by the end, that's when you need to make the change. That's why you need to make the change, I should say. Because if you do this 2 years in a row, I can count on you doing this. This is who you are. It ain't good, man. It ain't good. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed on this team. Hit that like button if you have not done so. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. No tackles heading into the Patriots game here in Soldier Field. Hopefully we find a way to get the job done. 143 in the building, 49 likes on the video. Let's get it up over 100 likes. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. I appreciate the back and forth with y'all, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with us. Appreciate y'all showing love as always, man. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down, one love. Hey, Dimitri, facts. Pray for Caleb Williams. Peace.